Previously on the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. If he was killed the night before, then none of the stuff that we've been doing leads us to anything. None of these witnesses have anything to do with it. Given that the time of death of the victim has already been called into question, it isn't beyond the realms of possibility that what these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all. The Venus special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. I just won! Until eventually it ignited the fuse of the firecrackers, generating a loud bang. Mystery solved. Okay, we got this, no problem. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, everybody. We are continuing right where we left off, with a yes and a no, and a somewhere in between. We stopped... where did we stop again? I think we were just about to... You know what? I'll just look at the history, we'll find out. Oh, right, we stopped at the candles. So the candle and firecrackers were joined together, we found out. The culprit somehow attached firecrackers to the point partway down the candle, and the killer left the scene. The candle slowly burned down along with the other two, until eventually it ignited the fuse of the firecrackers, generating a loud bang. And that's what they thought was the gunshot. It turned out that the real gunshot actually happened a lot sooner than that. And that is how these three witnesses came to believe they'd heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock? Well, what a plot. What a hole. And this implies that the victim could have died earlier than we'd been led to believe. The previous day, even. Now, just hold your horses. Well, the plot here saw the victim going into the building, remember? I don't remember what voice I heard for him. I couldn't forget that flame-colored hair, even if I wanted to. I don't remember his voice either, I'm just improvising here. The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Consider this. Oh, no. Obviously, anybody can wear a wig. So the person that these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily have been someone else entirely, wearing the red hairpiece. Someone else? Do you mean to say? I think I do. It was the same person who contrived the firecracker trick. In other words, Inspector Gregson's killer. There you go. Because they knew it was going to go off. Oh man, oh, you're laughing. You're laughing at me. Has any prosecutor ever laughed at us before? Well, I guess Gavin kind of did. A couple times. I suppose Blackwell kind of did too, actually. Oh, very impressive, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. My friend. Kazuma? What? I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. So far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that you had all the makings of a great defense lawyer? Is that why you brought me in here, just to prove how good I am? I also noted the lack of a time of death in this report. A stark omission. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired. Is this really the time to be bringing that up? Order! Knock it off! Prosecutor Asogi! What on earth do you mean by that statement? Oh man. I hear that many of the leading members of Britain's judiciary are present to observe this trial today. Can we get a show of hands, so we cannot even allow the slightest doubt to be overlooked? The defense's assertion about the time of death based on the victim's stopwatch is just conjecture. Well, so it's half the shit you've been saying, dude. But while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it. Well, certainly. What was that you were saying about the judiciary again? And what immediately comes to mind is, of course, me not changing the subject. What was Inspector Gregson doing, and where did he go on the day before the incident? Do you know? I don't think anybody does. The inspector always carried around his investigative work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within the bathroom. Even within the bathroom? Yes, within the bathroom. However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent what case the man was pursuing. Wouldn't you, my learned friend? You gotta quit saying that, man. I'm not sorry, but I don't know. He's not saying the Nipponese part, so maybe, I don't know. I do have a feeling about what case he might have been investigating. Yes, I agree. Surely. The Reaper case. My lord. That's what I said from the beginning. It wasn't his hideout, jeez. The defense believes it can explain to the court the case that was being investigated by Inspector Gregson at the time of his death. So tell me. Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. What evidence is suggestive of the case being investigated by the inspector on the day prior to the incident. Oh. Dun 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 dun. Advertiser from the newspaper. Well, I don't know if I can... I don't think I have anything that points directly to, like, the Reaper killings. And also, that seems like it would be a Case 5 thing, too, though? Like, I suppose I could present this, but... that doesn't really have anything to do with it, though. And then again, since when is that a condition? Dismissal notice. No, we haven't brought this up at all. I'm sure it's going to come up soon, though. Photograph of Mr. Vigil. Advertisement from the newspaper, the Redhead League. Actually, wait a minute. Is it possible that he was trying to figure out what this Redheaded League was all about? Because I'm wondering that myself. It's the one thing that seems to be just bugging me about this case in general. Like, why are these people doing this? And why are they saying, oh, you can get paid for it? Who were they trying to... Were they trying to recruit people, or what was going on there? What was on the board again? Let me examine. I mean, we can't really... It was all the victims of, you know, the Reaper. Which is why I thought... Maybe. Oh gosh, sorry this is taking so long. I don't know what else I could really present here, to be honest. Like, if I did present that, could I also present this? Because maybe he was, like, incognito, you know, trying to get in with them to figure it out from the inside? I think it's more likely this, though. I'll try this, but I'm not sure if we're on the right track here. I believe this red hairpiece points to the answer. Oh, shoot. I think I could have presented that, actually. We might assume it was part of a disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation. Yeah. Surely not. Such a brightly colored hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable. Yeah, that's quite true, but there's like 1 million people wearing them, so it would definitely have made him stand out in a crowd. Except, that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Redheaded League. The Redheaded League. So, you'd already worked it out. Yeah, I work out. What on earth is this all about? Is there such an extraordinary league of gentlemen? Oh, is that a reference to the movie? Is that what that movie was even called? The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I believe. I never saw that. I'd heard it was really good, though. The Redheaded League is currently under investigation for a grand deception. A deception of what nature, Counsel? They've been targeting red-headed men across all of London and tricking them out of small sums of money. 2 men were arrested for the misdemeanor only yesterday, in fact. What? I thought, the defense calls for those 2 men to be summoned at once. 2 redheads? Good lord. At least they're not wearing Red Riding Hood, you know, hoods. Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Redheaded League using this hairpiece. So it's very likely that he had direct contact with these criminals. And it's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events. I concur that we cannot in good conscience leave this new avenue unexplored. There you go, Mr. Narho, well done! It's another possible line of inquiry for us at least. It's a bit silly, but what else have we got? The prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. And charged men for Mega Man 5. You want to bring him in? Go right ahead. Bring these 2 Red-Headed League conspirators before me, Prosecutor Sogi, before I make some remark about how his weakness is the worst weapon in any Mega Man game ever. At once, my lord. Very good. We will have a 30-minute recess. Court is adjourned. Count is adjourned. Boy, I tell you. Wow, we were that close. I could have stopped there. Yeah, that would have been like 5 more minutes, but yeah. Of course, it's 7 minutes by the time you count all the time I spent thinking about that. Save your current progress. Yeah, why not? Let's go right here in the same slot. Well, actually, we'll go in this slot here. Just in case somehow the recording fails. If it does, though. I haven't had one yet fail, but if it ever does, I'll let you know. So, like, we can just go through it and I can say, well, I've seen this already. Up to whatever point I got to the first time. But yeah, been pretty lucky. Good old Elgato, still the leading standard. in capture devices. I don't know if that's still true now, but it's been like 7 years since I got mine. Oh, there you are, Otto. What kept you, my dear fellow? Hello, Mr. Holmes, Gina, Mom, Dad. You sure about what you said in there? That the boss, actually died the day before? It's pretty hard to swallow. Mm-hmm. Yes, I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina. As was I, possibly more shocked than both of you. It's not a competition, Mr. Holmes. Mr. Holmes, I mean. But I was more shocked than all of you put together. Yes. This is the autopsy report in question, is it? Yep. Strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation. Or perhaps it was a deliberate omission? So we don't have two coroners in here trying to throw us off, are they? Are we? Do we? Oh dear, if it was deliberate, it puts me in mind of the last case we worked on. Dr. Scythe. I know, exactly. Anyway, it seems that on the day before Lord Van Zieks discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the Redheaded League, so perhaps something happened with him. Come to think of it, you had trouble with those League men too, didn't you, Mr. Holmes? You were taken in by their trick. Yeah, well, they said you could make money by doing it, but what did they just, bring all the people to one spot, just pickpocket all of them? I don't know. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuth-hound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of weekly £4 income. And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose. As it does often for people. The two criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? In Mr. Holmes' suite, I mean. Yeah. That's right, Suze, and it was me what took him in. Hell yeah, dude. Thanks to a tip-off by a good law-abiding citizen, who we will probably never meet. Indeed, yours truly. Oh, it's... my bad, that's right. So it's going to be that pair and the witness stand next, is it? Those guys were goofy, though. But then again, the three people we just talked to were pretty goofy, too, so... Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Redheaded League yet, had you? Why would the Inspector have been investigating them? If that's really what he was doing, if we can establish that, then we can establish a connection between the Redheaded League and whoever's killing all these people that got acquitted in Van Ziek's trials, maybe, I don't know. Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuth-hound interest was piqued by the rare scent of weekly £4 income. Don't tar him with the same brush as you, Sholmes. I'm sorry, it's just a thought. Yeah, well, then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zieks for some reason. The Reaper, the Redheaded League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Van Zieks, all of it, everything, just every single thing, and Cosima. And Cosimo, I mean, I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow. Gosh, I think you're right. Oh, you know what? Maybe he knew that I was the only one who'd be smart enough to sniff it out, but he couldn't be the one, because, he's working with Strongheart and all that, so, but, he couldn't be the one who brought it to light, because it would get him in trouble with Strongheart, so he needs me to do it? Well, I hope he has a plan for protecting me from Strongheart, then, because, yeah, if that's what's happening here, what's he really trying to achieve here today? All the answers shall soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. It has currently been 27 minutes and 28 seconds. That means you have 2 minutes and 32 seconds to get back in there. Cosimo was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial. And he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? He's hoping to make them see, I think, is the thing. I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. Well, so much for my theory, it might be a short trial. Nope, this ain't trials and tribulations, y'all. Are you ready then, Miss Susanoo? Yes. I've been to the bathroom, all emptied out, ready to go. November 2nd, 1 o'clock p.m., we're going to be feeling that 2:30 feeling pretty soon here. Oh man, he's just standing all alone. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed court hearing of Brock Van Zieks, here present, who stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Asogi. My lord. Have you summoned the witnesses as requested? Yes, the two members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage. Carriage, ugh. What did they do back then? Man, it must have been so easy to bust out of a police car back then. Bailiff, usher the two men into the courtroom now. That totally looks like a girl, but whatever. These two men are currently being held by the police on suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupations, but state your names now for the court. That reminds me of Karate Kid 2, when when Mr. Miyagi's father speaks, it sounds like he's saying you may omit. But anyway. I am Fabian Di Russo. Wait a minute, that's the lady's name in Lost. A descendant of the great Di Russo family from Nice in France. I'm not good at this. And my name is Peppino Di Rossi. This is like that chick from Investigations Case 3, except I'm not going to give her that scary Michael McDonald voice. You know, the one where I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Don't worry. Third son, family Di Rossi, the landowners from Napoli. Wow. Familia Di Rossi, the landowners from... Okay, do I have to remember that? Please tell me I don't. The two men first became acquainted at a boarding school for European nobility. Those graduate from Timsik are the future leaders of Europe. But... do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with this noble blood? Hellos! I make it my mission to get the better of the world by exploring the little grey cells of my brain. Ha ha ha! That is all I'm trying to do. So, that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out? It's an exercise of the mind. Is it a crime in this country to exercise the mind? Name that movie. Ha! Not bad, eh? He has the grand ideals, but the petty plans. This strange combination is the charm of the Hilarious. Oh no. Oh boy. Hilarious brothers. See couple. These two don't look like they would get along. Listen to me, Peppino. I have two things to say to you. Hey, Che, are you about to tell me one of your grandy anecdotes? Evviva! Firstly, I want you to stop calling me this couple. And secondly, we are not the Hilarious brothers. This is serious business. Hello, there it is, the couple's trumper card, the photo brow. Yeah, what kid? Is your navel exposed? Or is that like a button on a shirt? I tell ya. It is tipo couple, the photo and the meaning of your words. The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true? Oui, c'est ça. Okay. And what exactly is the nature of this deception by which you plan to defraud? It's called crypto. Oh, shoot. Otherwise I will explain it. No, couple. Leave it to me. As you see, we both have the vivid red hair, no? At school, we were teased for this, without pity. The capo here. He was many times behind the schoolhouse, crying like the Trevi fountain. Those dogs! One day the world will respect us redheads. Every night, he would bury his head in his pillow. Oh, man. Jeez. He even made a YouTube video. It's called Gingers Have Souls. Shut up about that! The first step in the newspaper advertisement, I mean, about 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we listed the same notice in every paper in London. Yeah, we saw that notice. It was this one, I believe, entitled To the Red-Headed League. Yes, indeed. I am honored that you have seen it. Well, I'm not. You should have gotten a billboard or something. Well, that wouldn't be much better. It states that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-colored hair. And that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted into the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4. Ryunosuke's so serious here. I mean, he has to be. On the date specified, red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at a park specified in the advertisement. I'm not saying advertisement. And from each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings. Oh. And with the money, to France. It was a plan most elegant, non? No, it was not elegant. It was most dishonorable, you dumb shit. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick. You hear that, Holmes? The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folk, like a coster's orange barrow. A what? Anyway, on the day in which all these men gathered to apply, was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these two men spoke face-to-face with every single person present that day. Oh. You had yourself a day, then. Oui, I've seen more red-headed people in one day than I can see the rest of my life. Si. And now, are you French or Spanish here? Every time I see the couple's hair, I feel sick to my stomach. Anyway, why have we been summoned here today? Sorry? Have you not been listening? Oh my god, that's spaghetti. That actually looks kind of good. It's got those, well, I was gonna say scallions, but I think it's like bell peppers or something. The date for our trial is not till tomorrow, I was told. Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial. They've only been shown this photograph. Very good. Well, we're gonna have to show them a lot more. So, Mr. de Rousseau and Mr. de Rossi, you will now give your formal testimony for the court on the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph. Of course. We are always ready to help with the law. Yeah, you say that now, after we just discussed you trying to swindle people. Alright, the man in the photograph. Man, I keep coughing because I've been laughing at some fart videos earlier. That fart, playlist that Reckless Link sent to me, 3 years ago, I still have it, and it's still funny as ever. We had more than 1,000 red-headed people assembled in the park on Lime Street that day. But I don't recall the man in this photograph. Aye, couple? Nope. No, I don't remember him. Obviously he's dead now, but I assure you he was not in the park. Honor, this victim has nothing to do with us. You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place. Oh well. It's gonna happen sooner or later. Why do you have both swords? Man, You've given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present. Can you be certain? I mean, if they're all wearing wigs, how would you really know who you'd seen and... I mean, you couldn't be absolutely certain that you hadn't seen one person. Especially because you can't really see his face that well in the photograph. I don't know. We are quite certain we did not interview this man. Nobody looking like it is came to the park. This I can promise. This I promise you. It must be noted that you have been arrested for a grand deception and singing in sync, however. Accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurances. Yeah. Little confidence, nolo contendere. Opa, with this attitude we get to nowhere, huh? He's really a sulkin now. A sulkin. Ain't nobody gonna break up my stride. This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary, dated the day before the incident. It reads, Lime Street, Redheaded League, undercover. Ah, I have the answer. Maybe there was another similar event in the park on the day in question, eh? A similar event, just like there was a similar prison? Maybe that was just him, being facetious, I don't know. That is ridiculous. There can't be two cryptocurrencies out there. Oh, there's only one. There's no question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the Redheaded League. Which means it's quite possible that's when he was killed. Very well, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination now. Ah, yes, my lord. Oh, man. Come this far. Now we're talking to these dudes. The man in the photograph. We had more than 1,000 red-headed people assembled in the park on Lime Street that day. I'm getting angrier. 1,000 people? That's a very big crowd. You know, TRG does autograph sessions for 300 people. It takes 3 hours to do. It was quite a spectacle. Redheads had come from all over the capital. See, the couple here. He has the magnetissimo animale, yeah? Nobody else could attract so many people. If I could be born again, I would be the couple. Ah, okay. All those people wanted was the money, Peppino. The £4 per week. They didn't care about nothing else. Are you suggesting that you spoke personally with all 1,000 of them? Oui, that we did, because every one of them paid us 5 shillings. We take their names, and we take their money, and we take their addresses as well. Oh. Then I tell them we take us some days to let them know by post. E finito. Maybe 2 minuti per person. Minuti? We start early in the morning and we stop late in the night. So you earn 5,000 shillings in one day. That's a small fortune. If only. Who'd have thought there were 1,000 such gullible redheads in London to start with? One of whom was a great detective. With chemically all. But then why was it blue? Like, well, I guess he was trying to figure out how to bring it back to normal, and that was just a byproduct of that experimental phase or whatever. But I don't recall the man in this photograph, I couple. Okay. You didn't? You don't? He doesn't look at all familiar. Nope, I don't think so. And this is a way guy. He was trying to trick us. I do not like the people who are trying to trick the other people. Yeah, says the con artist. If between them they interviewed 1,000 people with red hair, 1,000! It would be unreasonable to expect them to remember every face. That's what I was saying, though. Oh no, senor, I may be small, but my memory is very large. I never forget a thing. In my opinion, I do not think this man was in the park. But he's not going to give the court a definite, it seems. I don't think you could really rely on that. I don't know. Hey, couple, you didn't see a man like this, huh? And now he's gonna say he didn't see it. No, I don't remember him, and obviously he's dead now, but I assure you he was not in the park. Till next time. But according to what you said, you spoke with 1,000 or more people that day. How can you remember him out of 1,000 people? Well, that's true, my eyes were burning by the end of the day. Surely then you can't actually remember every single face. How are you so certain that this particular man wasn't present? They don't want us to think he was there. Normally the red hair is very distinctive, but not when you have 1,000 redheads crowding around, then it is just an eyesore. But if there was some other information you could give us, maybe then we could recall. Ah, that is not the line, Peppino. Remember, we do not remember him. We are sure of that fact, huh? Oh, God. If there was a man with a red hairpiece, but his mustache did not match the color, then I do not think I could have forgotten him. Yeah. Cosmo said these two had only been shown that photograph, and they'd been told nothing else at all. But what if I fed them just one other detail about the victim? For example... Shit, I was button mashing to get the prompts to come up. I certainly... Well, whatever it said, I guess that's what I said. Choice his name. Maybe? I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. But what if I told you that the man's name was Gregson? The man in the photograph is a Monsieur Gregson. Monsieur. Yes. Names, they are boring. I did not listen to any of them. Oh. It was not a real interview, huh? It was just for show. Why would I remember the names? I also think that maybe if he did go there and gave him his name, he would have given him the other name, Hugh Boone or whatever. That's right, this changes nothing. The man in the photograph was not there, as we've already said. I see. Are we gonna get a penalty for this? I can't decide. Tell them again what you said before, Peppino. See, couple, see. I say it again and again. Fork. I know this victim has nothing to do with us. I want to go back and try that again. Hang on a second. Okay, here it is. His name, his profession, his fish and chips. I want to see this. It must be the middle one, then. I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair would help you remember this situation. But what if I told you that the man was always munching on a packet of fish and chips? Do you remember a man who was eating fish and chips? Not really, I don't even like fish and chips. I was only looking at the heads of the applicants, not whether they were eating fish and chips. I don't notice fish and chips anymore than the fish and chips. Oh, the caviar and smoked salmon. Or spaghetti. Me, I love the spaghetti. Would you like some spaghetti? Really, I had no idea. Tells me again what you said before, Peppino. Okay, then this is just the same as before. Alright, yeah. His profession. Do it. I could certainly appreciate it just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember the situation. Said that 3 times now. But what if I told you that the man in the red hairpiece was actually a detective? The man in the photograph, a detective? Yeah. It would appear he found your notice in the paper suspicious and decided to investigate incognito. Oh! Sorry, but this changes nothing. Oh, does it? Wait a minute.
Excuse me.
Something to add, Mr. De Rossi? No, I was just eating spaghetti. Jesse, I'm always adding something. Parmesan, olive oil, pepper. She's even a cook, just like the other lady was, too. Wish I could remember her name. I don't know. But what I mean is, did you not agree with your friend's last remark by any chance? Something on my chest. What is that? And what did he just say about the detective? Keep your mouth shut, Peppino! You've said enough already! But why, Capo? What is the problem? There was a man who said, I'm an inspector from Scotland Yard. Oh, dear. Okay, so maybe the tall guy, Russo, killed him, and De Rossi doesn't know that he did it? Explain this vaulty face in your testimony. Whoa! It's simple. The man who was at the park said to us that he was an inspector. There was no such man. I tell you. Madai, what are you saying, Capo? Have you forgotten, I've forgotten nothing. Nobody like this came to the park. Basta, Capo, basta! You beat me to many things, but not to the memory and the meals. Like I said, when it's time to eat the pasta, no one is a faster. But you are inferior to me in every other way, and you're not Mario, so shut up!
Objection.
Wow, just shut up. Is that why I pounded my desk, just to say nothing? Is that why he pounded his desk? To say nothing. We're both stunned. Uh-oh. Drop Todd, the damage is done. What? What do you mean? Indeed it is, sir. There was a man who came to the park and he said he was an inspector of Scotland Yard, okay? Are you happy now? However, he looked nothing like the man in the photograph. He was someone else. Oh. Could it have been someone else? Because to start with, his face was completely different. See, it's true. The man who came was a younger. His face was clean-shaven, his eyes were sadder, his chin was thinner. Was it Van Zeek's? Is that how he went about finding... Well, wait a minute, though. That wouldn't lead him to Gregson, though. Huh. Also, they would have said he was probably taller. Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. I took the obvious precaution and said to him, if you are really a detective, show us the proof. See, the couple here, he doesn't take a no-nonsense, eh? But he was well prepared. He said he had identification. Identification? You mean official police inspector's identification? Handprint identification, please. That is most unconvincing. Sorry, my lord? Counsel, no incognito inspector would offer his identification for inspection. It's quite out of the question. Oh, he's got a point. Definitely. Why would he expose his true identity? Clearly the papers were fake. Sortro Capo, you're a genius. As we say in Italia, it takes a thief to recognize another, eh? Okay, Italian. Alright. That's kind of what I was going for anyway. And what happened after he announced that he was a detective? He became very annoying. He said, "You are under investigation." So I took his papers from him and chased him out of the park. What? You chased him out of the park? After taking his papers? It was fantastical. And look, here is the identification. So you stole it from the man. You wouldn't have, like, said this while they were questioning you or something? Well, did they question him? I don't know. They just showed him the picture, but... he's not who he said he was. Okay. Indeed, the person described does not appear to have behaved as a true inspector would. However, I believe it would be prudent for these identification papers to be entered into evidence. I need to see them. But I like them. Oh, the inspectors, let's see. It looks more like a passport, but... Now, let us return to the witness's testimony. Oh, wait a minute, can I look at that? No, I need to see that. Hang on a second here. Metropolitan Mutant of Arc. Wow. It does say police on it. But like... here we go. Oh, let's open this bad boy up. Well, I suppose we should see what this inspector's identification looks like. It's not gonna be anything. It's not gonna have a name. Or is it? Nothing I can read here. They probably didn't want us to read it. Yes, it definitely looks fake, doesn't it? Out of interest, what name is given? Probably just something plucked out of the air. It's Hugh Moon, isn't it? Oh! Really? Oh, but if it's fake, then yeah. But I mean, somebody was after him. Or trying to frame him for something? But why would they go to the Redheaded League to do that? Did somebody steal his ID? Maybe he really was there, I don't know. But they said it didn't look like him. And the apartment, maybe he gave his ID to someone to go in his place? Or, but that, how would that, well, there's not a picture on the ID, so... So they wouldn't have been able to, like, compare it, you know, to know it was the wrong person. Since when have you known those? She's very smart. Do you mean to say? I know it seems incredible, but yes. I think this is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. But that's unbelievable. This is the real thing after all? Maybe I'll go use it. Inspector Gregson's police identification. It's the official warrant card issued to him by Scotland Yard. Okay, oh, I'm in for this, I'll tell you. Victim has nothing to do with us. For we know the victim is Inspector Gregson, so I just present this here? Or should I press? What was the last one again? You have a lot to answer for, Pip. You know, it's your fault that we got caught in the first place. This victim has nothing to do with us. I think I might try it. It doesn't feel like that would be right, though, because, like, they just gave it to us and now we're just going to throw it right back at them. Like, I don't know. I feel like it would have been more natural if the conversation just went from there straight to the next point. Not that I would actually have to do that. I'll try it once, because I got all this HP. I wonder if I could ask you to examine this identification book very closely. Oh, maybe because they didn't look at it, so that's why... Oh, Miss Lestrade, yes! 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 Okay, I didn't know how long I was going to keep doing that. Is this really fake or is it genuine? That's the question, which we can't answer ourselves. No, we need to know! Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen. Well, if he was already dead... What if he died before this whole get-together? They could have stolen his ID after they killed him, taken it to the... Oh my gosh. Can't be. As I suspected. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. They could have just stole his ID. The undercover detective who attended the Redheaded League's enrollment, on the day in question, was the real Inspector Gregson, carrying out an incognito investigation. Wait, what? Yeah, he's actually saying that was the real Inspector Gregson, but they said it didn't look like him, so... Was he wearing a fat suit, too? You know, like Eddie Murphy? It's order! But if the boss has had his identification stolen, he would have reported it straight away. Unless he was already dead. I mean, he was always on me about it. If you lose something, report it at once, he'd say. Could it be, then, that the inspector was physically unable to report it for some strange reason? Physically? What are you saying? Oh, you didn't like that, did you? Unable to? You're not suggesting. Yes, it's quite possible that he was killed. I'm going to change my outfit back for the last case, I think. I do like this, but yeah, it's way too different. Yes, it's quite possible that he was killed before he had the chance to report his identification stolen. No! Oh, man. Man, even when he's taking a hit, he still looks badass. Order! Man, how many times do I say order? The defense posits that the victim was killed the day before his body was discovered at a different location. Do you two have anything to say about that? They are not liking this. Oh, okay. I know nothing. I done nothing. Oh, pull yourself together, Peppino. Mon Dieu, you can behave a little more like a master criminal than that, non. What? No, I wish I'd return to Italia. Stop crying, Peppino, please. God damn it. Otherwise, you're gonna cry too. No way, stop your whining and stop talking. Well, I believe the court will need to hear your story in considerably greater detail. I know nothing. I don't know nothing. But you will tell everything. You will. Or face the worst possible outcome. And you don't want to know what that is, let me tell you. Aw. The only thing sweeter than a crier is a sympathy crier. You will dry your eyes and testify again. It's about high time you opened his eyes and realized about these identification papers and the precise circumstances under which you came by them. Okay, so somebody still could have killed him and brought the identification to them. But I don't think there's any way they could have known in that situation that they would keep the identification. They did keep it. Unless they told them to keep it. Well, I guess that's what we're about to find out here. Getting a little high up there, but we'll keep going. The truth is, we took him prisoner and kept him for the night at our secret hideout. What? Which night? Ugh. Well, that would have been the night after he got killed. And even though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day, just in case. We took the man's identification from him and shut him in the room. There might have been a little trouble, but we did him no harm, and the next morning we let him go. He spent the night in a nice room. It was nothing like prison, really. Where was this exactly? This is outrageous! You imprisoned the man? But no, see, no! It was not like a prison! He was very comfortable, and calm, and happy. So happy, in fact, hi, couple. Wow, now he's... It was never part of my plan, I swear it. Oofa! So you think it was my fault, just because I got the date to the ferry wrong? By one little day, the ferry? I don't think it was your fault, Peppino, I know it. No. Per favor, Capillo, it is not a fair. What was that about a ferry? You shall have plenty of time for squabbling back at the prison, gentlemen. Wow, that laugh kind of backfired. I don't believe this. How could he have been a real detective? Counsel for the defense proceed with the cross-examination. So, on the day before the incident, Gregson spent the night confined in this pair's hideout. Are we sure that it was actually Gregson? Was there some other... I'm still hung up on this thing where they said it didn't look like him, so I think it was like somebody stole his ID and went there pretending to be him. So that person would be the one that spent the night that got captured by them, but they're saying Gregson here. That's kind of weird. I hope I'm not assuming too much here. But I guess we'll see. Detective in the identification. I really should refill my drink, but we're so close to the end, we can keep going. The truth is, we took a prisoner and kept him for the night our secret hideout. Okay. Where is that? Do you realize what you're saying? You have to believe me, I never intended for that to happen. And I'm sure the detective did not intend it either. Do you think? But there was nothing else I could do. See, nothing else at all. This was the first crime for the capo. It was at the end of his wits. Capo? That's the thing you put on a guitar. I've told you before, Peppino, that is not the way to describe a criminal mastermind. What about this hideout of yours? Yeah, that's what I want to know. An old empty house behind the park on Lime Street. We rented the place for 2 days. It was inspired by idea by the capo here. Capo. An impulsive idea, I would say. They said Lime Street? It's not like the same building, is it? Huh. No, not impulsive, inspired. Aye, capo? What am I supposed to say to that, Peppino? And it was in the house described that you can find Inspector Gregson, was it? I think we're just saying that for the sake of keeping them going, stringing them along, as it were. But you have to remember, I was under the impression that he was a pretender, not a real inspector. That doesn't quite add up, though. If you didn't think the man was a real inspector, there would have been no reason to take him prisoner, would there? Huh. None, you're right, but we couldn't be completely certain. Even though I didn't think it was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day just in case. Have we ever seen, like, two witnesses together crying? We've seen a lot of witnesses cry, like when we ratted them out or figured them out, but... Because why'd he come to the park? We didn't know. There was a chance that he'd seen through my plan. And if that was the case, he would go straight to the police station and blow the whistle on us. Even if he was just feigning to be an inspector, he was up to no good, huh? Without a doubt, sir. I mean, that I don't deny. I think most people would agree that it's you two who were up to no good. Yeah, you tell that asshole. Well, okay, fine, you may be right. I may be crazy. But it's just me being a lunatic you're looking for. The point is, we were not able to escape from England immediately. So that is why we had no choice but to take the man prisoner. What I don't understand is why the inspector felt the need to show you his identification in the first place. Well, according to them, it's because they didn't believe he was an inspector. See, I asked myself the same question. We were writing down the names and addresses of all the people who we took 5 shillings from that day. I've forgotten what name he said, but the address, it startled me. CC, address Scotland Yard Homicide Division, he said. What? I don't think that's a surprise, really. He probably didn't like your face, Peppino. Anyway, I was not rude. I just politely asked him why he said it. And that's when he started to say he was an inspector. Not long afterwards, he took out his identification. What was Inspector Gregson playing at? Tell the court what happened next. You took him back to your hideout, you say? See, we did it. We did it. More crying. But now she's like doing it up instead of down. I keep saying she, I'm telling you. It's we took the man's identification from him and shut him in the room next to ours. That being this identification book here, correct? See, that is the one. What made you believe that it was a forgery? I never seen a real one, of course. But he was so suspicious, this man. I was thinking he must be false, so hi, couple. Okay, it still could have been the real Inspector Gregson if they were the ones that killed him. I guess. That seems too obvious, though, because, like, we would know, basically, right now, that they were the culprit. I don't know. Plus, with the location being, like, somewhere... that Lime Street location, I don't know. Just as Peppino has said, we were convinced it was not genuine. And so together, the hilarious brothers, we took the man captive. All we did was shove him inside a locked room. Then we made preparations to transport all of the money. In for a penny, in for a pound. I mean, that's how you gotta do it. And now they're down crying again instead of up crying, that up nose thing. This might have been a little tussle, but we did him no harm, and the next morning we let him go. What do you mean by a little tussle, exactly? Buff! It was nothing. Just a minor incident. The false little inspector, he was a real piece of the work. Hi, couple. What happened? We colored his hair blue. It was a disaster. We get him a nice room, and what does he do? In the middle of the night, he takes a dump all over the floor. He tries to escape through the ventilator. Oh. Can you blame him? Not exactly. We chased him being so, and we caught him again. Can you blame us? Yeah, I can. Wait, you didn't shoot the man in your haste, did you? Oh. Not! Who do you think we are? Of course not! I simply caught hold of him again and took him back to the room. Oh no. Why are you reacting to this? Why are you eating?
Excuse me.
Mr. DeRossi, Mr. Reed, is something wrong? There was a bug in my spaghetti. It's gross, man. Something Mr. Russo said just seemed to make you, Russo, I mean. Well, it seemed to make you act even more strangely than usual, if that's possible. Cavolo, at times like that, you don't want to have the kippo after you, believe me. And I speak from a personal experience, Personal experience? That is enough, Peppino. There's no need to say more. The truth is, the night before we put the Redhead League clan into action, I was scared. It was not fair to the capo, but I tried to run away. It's a shame you didn't manage it. But the capo here, he came after me like the turbine, and he dragged me back to the house, kicking and screaming. I still have the bruises to prove it. Hi, capo. Bruises, you say? You want to see them? Oh, shoot. No, actually, I don't. That's fine. That's enough now, Peppino. No one wants to look at any part of you. Damn. So mean. What to do? I show you or I don't. I show you or I don't. He's like, nope. You do! Now! Sorry, that was loud. Allora, if anybody wants to see, then I do it. Oh, on the neck. Huh. That looks more like someone was trying to choke you to death or something. Jeez. That red ring around your neck, it doesn't drop your damage down to 25% by any chance, does it? You got that when you were dragged back to the house? See, the capo sometimes he's very rough, and I said that's enough. Peppino's neck has nothing to do with whatever you're talking about here. You have my word. Well, maybe you're just... Ugh. What is your opinion, Council? About this red ring around Mr. DeRossi's neck? I wonder, does it matter? Maybe. Yeah, Mr. DeRossi, I'm going to have to ask you to amend your testimony with details about that mark on your neck. It's always the neck stuff. You know, like Alita Talia is like that too. And who else had that? Somebody else did. Well, no, it was in the same game. The waitress from the Borscht Bowl place or whatever. Ugh, it's driving him crazy that we're paying so much attention to the other person, isn't it? Very well, you will amend your testimony as requested, Miss DeRossi. See, if you really want to know. Ugh. He tried to escape, but the capo put the collar on him and dragged him back, like what he did to me, see? Aw. So you both conveniently tried to run away? Are you saying that red mark was caused by... See, a big collar made from the leather. Is it the same collar we found at the end of case 2? I don't know. It's enough to make you wonder. A leather collar. Is this true, Mr. DeRusso? What? We had a St. Bernard at home when I was younger. It is a souvenir from that time with a very strong chain. A strong chain? And you put that around your friend's neck? I'm sorry, I was so angry that he was leaving me alone. You did not have to tie the chain to the leg of the bed, though. I would not have tried to run again. This music is like totally cheerful. It reminds me of the music in Case 3-5. That pink box music. You didn't do that to Inspector Gregson as well, did you? Treat to the people equal, It's a capo his motto, eh? But he didn't do it to himself, so I don't really get that. It's starting to sound a lot more like a prison all of a sudden. The capo isn't tough, but the capo is rough. He's having a tough time of it, isn't he? I shouldn't have done it. So the following morning, when you released the inspector, can we check his neck? He had the red ring around his neck, just like a me. Peppino, s'il vous plaît. Leave it now. Now you know, the capo here, you don't want to tango with him, But for the inspector, it's not so bad. Oh, back to crying. Spent the night in a nice room. It was nothing like prison, really. We. Might as well press it. We pressed all the other ones. That was a long press, that last one. You took away the man's freedom. However comfortable you make it sound, you were still holding him prisoner. You know, you were going to watch cartoons all day. If you say that, then I say this. There's something that takes away our freedom, too. The lack of money. You know, I'm not even going to try to argue with that. So we're the prisoners as well, huh? All of us. Huh? No money, no freedom. This is the truth. It makes me mad, and it makes me sad. What can we do? Well, universal income? Well, you're gonna have to wait another 100 years and then some. If you feel so disenfranchised, take money to court. It'll cost you, of course. I like that line. You know what? Capturing that. Well, there you have it. You see, that is why we need the Redhead League. To fight for the justice. To fight for your justice, maybe. Perhaps he has a point. No, Mr. Naruhodo, he doesn't. All we did was to give the man a comfortable place to sleep for the night. And you say it was a prison, huh? Huh? At least he had a roof over his head. You know how cold it gets around here. Perhaps he has a point again. It is November, so it's probably getting pretty cold. No again, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah. You should have heard him snoring. Madai! If anyone was disturbed, it was us. Wow. Not much to go on, really. Their testimony does make me wonder, you know, about this pocket watch belonging to the inspector, I mean. Oh, yeah. The one he treasured so much, apparently. If he was confined but not restrained, as the witnesses are implying, he would still have been able to wind his watch. Yeah, that's very true. So did Inspector Gregson actually die while he was being held captive by these redheads? In which case, is it possible that these two young men are responsible for Inspector Gregson's... To be honest, I find that hard to believe. Perhaps we should try to find out exactly what happened. I don't know, it really bothers me that they keep saying it was Inspector Gregson there. I mean, like, when they say it didn't look like him, I assume they don't mean, oh, he had red hair. Because they didn't know who he was before. In the picture, he has red hair in the picture. So he would have looked the same in the picture as he would have at the park if he was there. So, I don't know. Yeah, I don't usually like to stop in places like this, but I think I'm going to do it now because I'm getting way up there, and I know this is probably going to take us into a whole, like, God only knows what, but we're about to find out something, I'm sure. So, see you guys then, and thanks for joining me on this lovely adventure. It just gets better and better, man, I tell you. See ya.